Haboim, welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Chav Dalid Amud Aleph, 8 lines from the top. The Gemara has been discussing at length the Trumas Hadeshin. That's the separating of the ashes from on top of the Mizbeach, those ashes that were from the previous day's Karbonos, and they are then separated and put on the east side of the Kefish, whereby miraculously the ground of the Azar would absorb those ashes. The Gemara now asks the following: Boy Rabbi Avin, Trumas Hadeshen Bekama. How much ashes must be separated for Trumas Hadeshen? Ask the Gemara: Trumas Meiser Yalfinan Law or Trumas Midyon Yalfinan Law? By the way, it says in regards to Trumas Hadeshen, the lashon is Veheirim Es Hadeshen Asher Toichal Haesh Es Haoila Al Mizbeach V'Soma Eitz Al Mizbeach. That's in regards to Trumas Hadeshen. So Gemara asks, do we learn it out from the Truma of Meiser? There it says, V'hari Moise Mimenu. Or do we learn it out from the Truma of the Midyan, which says, V'hari Moise Mikem. The Truma's Meiser would be 10% of the ashes. If we learn it out from the Truma of the Midyan, it would be 1/500th. Says the Gemara, we don't learn out from either one. Toshma de Tani Rabbi Chia taught Nemar Kan Veheirim V'Nemar Lahalon Veheirim. It states Gabe the Mincha offering, it states Veheirim in regards to the Trumas Hadeshen. It says Veheirim. Ma Lahalon Bekoimtzoi Af Kan Bekumtzoi. Just as regards to the meal offering, the Mincha, it says Bekoimates. That means a handful with 3 fingers, scooping up the Mincha, the flour. That's the amount. As well, when it comes to then shoveling the separating of the deshen. In other words, in regards to the Trumas Hadeshen, there it says Veheirim. In regards to Mincha, it says Veheirim, as opposed to the other suggestions where it says V'hari Moisem, or it says V'hari Moiso. So this is more direct, and therefore we learn out from Mincha. Omar Rav then says Arba Avoidos Zar Chayiv Aleim Misa. Rav says there are 4 avoidos that a non-kohen performs, that he's going to be Chayiv Misa Bidei Shomayim. And these are them. Zerika, that means that after he then is Mekabel Adam and does Halacha, he's finally Zorek the Dam on Ivech. If the Zar is Zorek the Dam, he's Chayiv Misa. Vehaktara, if he burns the incense or he burns the Eivorim, that he's also going to be Chayiv Misa B'dei Shomayim. V'nisach HaMayim, the libations of the water that's put on the Mizbeach for certain karbonos. V'nisach HaYayin, when it comes to the Mayim, Nisach HaMayim, that's during the Torah Tamid, Shel Shachar on Sukkis. Nisach HaYayin, which is done for certain karbonos, that is done in the libations of the wine. Those 4 avodas, Rav says, what a Zar will be Chayiv Misa B'dei Shomayim for. V'Levi Omar, V'Levi adds, Af Trumas Hadeshen. If a non-Kohen performs Trumas Hadeshen, he will be Chayiv. This, of course, presumes that this is the Avoida, like the opinion that we said before, Trumas Hadeshen is an Avoida. V'chein Tani Levi, B'Masnisei, Af Trumas Hadeshen. Rav Levi also brought a Braisa in support of this that says even the Trumas Hadeshen will be Chayiv a non-Kohen Misa B'dei Shomayim. My time of the Rav. Ask the Gemara, why does Rav say these 4 avodos are going to be Chayiv a Zar Chayiv Misa? D'chsiv, it's in the pasuk Ve'ata ubonecha itcha tishmu es kahanaschim. You and your children with you shall protect, shall safeguard your kahuna. L'kol dvar hamizbeach v'limbeis laparoiches v'avadosim. It says the things of the Mizbeach and Beis HaParoch refers to the Kodesh Kadoshim, that you will do the service. Avoidas matana etenes kunaschem. I will give you the avoid of the matana for your kahuna. V'hazar hakarev yumas. The end of the passage says, and a non-kohen who performs them will die. Avoidas matana v'lo avodas siluk. These 4 include the avodas of the matana, of the placement on the Mizbeach, those placements, let's say the placing of the dam on the mizbeach, that would be considered to be included, but not those things are removed from the mizbeach. So therefore, the avodah of the matana is included, not the avodah of the siluk, to exclude tumas hadeshin. Va'avaditem. Why do I say va'avaditem? To teach you avodah tamo. Va'avodah sheish acharei avodah. It has to be avodah tama, that which is a complete. That means the completion of the avodah. So therefore, when it comes to, let's say, the avodas hadam, there's shchita, and then there's kabbalas hadam, there's halacha, and then finally the end, the culmination is the zrikas hadam. Only the culmination is the tama. The avodah tama is going to be chayiv misa b'dei shamayim. So those are the four that Rav includes. The Levi, Rabbi, Rachman, Lechol Dvar HaMizbeach. Levi includes the Trumas Hadeshin because he says the Posuk includes Lechol Dvar HaMizbeach, including then every matter of the Mizbeach, even the separation of the ashes from the Mizbeach. V'Rav Hahu La'asuye Sheva Hazois Shebifnim V'Shebetzoro. Mitzoro. Rav uses these words of L'chol dvar hamizbech to teach me includes the chatois of the inner chatois, whereby they will be then included in the chiyuv over here of the chiyuv, even though this is not on the mizbech itself, but these are going to be sprinkling on the paroiches. Nonetheless, this is considered to be that's in mechayev the zar misa. The Levi nafkalei midvar. Levi, he loses the word midvar to teach me trumas hadeshin. The kol dvar and the actual and the additional word of a kol dvar comes to teach me these additional hazois. V'rav dvar v'kol dvar loy dorish. Rav just darshan entirely v'kol dvar to teach me the hazos, and therefore it doesn't have the two separate things to make the additional drasha. Ask the Gemara v'ch'ema l'kol dvar hamizbeach klal avodas matana prat. Let's say a klal and a prat. We have a klal on all of the avodah of the mizbech is a klal, and then what defines the klal is the prat that says avodas matana. Klalu prat, ein bechol elamashe prat. Whatever is in the prat must then define the klal. Avodas matana in avodas siluk loy. Only those avodas that are indeed a matana on the mizbeach, they're going to be then applications. They will be included in this chiyuv misa to the zar. But the siluk, the removal, the separation of the ashes of Trumas Hadeshin is not included. Omar Kro, on top of Chavdalam and Beis, but we have a posuk in this verse, Beis la paroiches va'avaditem. That's mafsik, the klal between the klal and the prat. And therefore, el beis, mi beis le paroiches hu da avoida matana, v'la avoda siluk. Then only that which is the avoid in the base ha'paroiches, namely the Kodesh Kadoshim, that requires then matana to be mechayiv, but not the siluk, the application, but not the removal. Ha bichutz, but outside of the Kodesh Kadoshim, afilu avodah siluk, even that which is going to separate the ashes from the mizbeach will be included in the chiyuv. Ihochi asked the Gemara, if so, if you're going to say that these words lemibeis leparoiches va'avaditem is separating the klal and the prat to make this, then ask the Gemara va'avaditem nami el mibeis leparoiches hu da avoda tama v'lo avoda sheyesh acharei avoda. Then these words will also then separate to teach me the avoda has to be avoda tama, where only in the inside of the Kodesh Kadoshim. But mi bachutz, habichutz, afilu avodah sheish achareha avodah. That would include other avodas that should be chayiv the zar chiyuv misa. For example, we said before the avodas hadam. Until now, we said only the last avodah, the zrikas hadam, because that's avodah tama. But if you don't need avodah tama, then also the kabbalas hadam, the halacha of the dam bringing from the Kabbalah to the Mizbeach, all of that should be also mechayev misa. And we know that he doesn't include that in his list. Answers the Gemara, va'avadetem hodar arve kro. The fact that it says va'avadetem with an extra vav that connects it back to what it said before, that comes to say that it all has to be included in avodah tama. And therefore, both that which is inside the Kodesh Kodesh as well as what was stated before in the Pasuk, in the avodah bachutz of the Mizbech also has to be avodah tama. Namely, in the case of the avodas hadam, only the zrikas hadam.